I said 10 minutes before when I was talking about dedicated prayer. But 2 minutes is enough to go to the Lord. 2 minutes of your day is enough to go in dedicated prayer. He wants more. I have no doubt. But it's enough. If you found yourself with your thoughts wandering, that's human nature. That's what we do. But there's another way to do it. That's why I journal, because my mind does wander. Journaling is not for everybody. I've been doing it for a long time, and I admit I journal just writing in a journal. I don't write just a prayer journal. I have what you call a regular journal as well. But it helps me slow down and helps me focus. When I'm typing things or when I'm writing things, depends on how you want to do it. I personally have trouble sometimes writing. I have arthritis in my neck and it results in numbness in my hand. And often, if you would look at my prayer journal entries, the first thing I write is, Lord, please help me to write today without numbness in my hand. That's my first prayer right off the bat. So there is a struggle there for some people, physical. There's a struggle in other ways. But I still love the focus that it brings to me. It also brings discovery, because sometimes I don't know what I'm going to pray about until it comes out of my fingertips. Sometimes I discover what I need to pray about as I write it. It's a process as I go through it. And the best thing for me, the most amazing thing for me, is the looking back. I said my first prayer journal, when I looked today, it was 1983. It's amazing to me to go back. I sat down on the floor today when I should have been getting ready and started reading my prayer journals. I loved seeing God's hand in my life over the last 20-some years. It's an amazing call to his miracles in my life and to his faithfulness to me and my lack of faith and his stubborn love for me. So the recalling is amazing as well. There's dangers, though. For the longest time, journaling to me was a measuring stick of spirituality in frequency and length. How frequently, how many times did I date that journal and write an entry, and how many pages did I write? How long was it? And you can fall into that trap of gauging your spirituality based on how thick the journals get, as far as how many you fill and how many pages are filled. You can also end up neglecting life. I went through a phase where I just wrote for hours and hours, and I had stuff I had to do. So there are dangers to it. You can get caught up in it. You can just kind of disappear in it. And there are a lot of different ways as well. I personally, my journal, I would say I'd call them letters to God, where I end up talking to the Lord as if I were writing him a letter. My whole journal is filled with stuff like that. But I also fill it with verses and quotes from books and song lyrics, things that he calls to my mind that I can go back and read later. If you try journaling, if you ever have, or if you try it in the future, there's so many different ways. Don't feel you have to be pigeonholed in a particular way. Yes, I write letters to God, but some people will write them out and then read them back. Some people will just do bullets, just little bullets. Some people will write lists and date them, write names and dates and the concern they have, and then they'll go back and they'll write the prayer request and the prayer answer next to each other with the dates. There's so many different ways. The way that I thought was interesting, the book Bill Hybels, I think, refers to this one. Gordon MacDonald is an author. He wrote Ordering Your Private World. And he basically just didn't have time for journaling. So he made it real simple. He went out and he got a spiral notebook, and he decided that he was going to fill no more than one page when he sat down, or once a day, no more than one page in his spiral journal. And he just made the commitment to date the top of the page and write the word yesterday, and then go where it takes him. But when he gets to the end of the page, he's done. That's another way to do it. And that's the way I'm going to ask you to try. There's some notebook paper at the end of every aisle, and if you don't have one, I'm going to ask you to take one piece of paper, and hopefully the pencils in front of you are sharpened. So what we're going to do, you choose. We're going to try this out and see how it feels, okay? Either go ahead and write prayers for yourself, and if you're too close to somebody else, move away. I don't want you to be hindered by somebody having a bird's eye view of what you're writing. So choose. Are you going to start with the word yesterday? Or are you going to start with acts, adoration, confession? Or, I'm not the boss of you. You can pray any way you want. But those are some suggestions. But I'm going to go ahead and give you another 2 whole minutes. And either it's going to be the longest 2 minutes again, or you're going to run out of time. So let's go ahead and start. I hope you ran out of time. That would be very exciting if you ran out of time. But that paper is yours, and so you can continue talking to God. So again, do you have time to pray? That was 2 minutes. Do we have 2 minutes to spend time with God, either writing or talking to Him? If you've never journaled before, I would really encourage you to try it. Whatever kind of paper you want, whether you sit at the computer and you type, password protect your file if you feel like it, or if you want to get a leather-bound journal, a spiral notebook that you pay $1.29 for, whatever. Try it for 1 week. I invite you to try it for 1 week. And if it works for you, keep going. And if it doesn't, maybe it doesn't work for you at all. But maybe it's just not the season for you. But I encourage you, I invite you to try journaling.